Hi, everybody. Welcome to Shut Up and Laugh. My name is Brian Trendler. I run a little podcast here in the Pacific Northwest, and I'm really excited because this is the second video version we've also done of the podcast. If you look behind me, there's a podcast studio that currently can't be used thanks to COVID and this ridiculous pandemic that we're in. But now is the time that, again, from the video perspective, I get to introduce my guest for today. His name is Kenneth Perry, otherwise known as Kenny and KP. So my first question is, how do you want me to address you?
Kenneth is fine, or KP, it doesn't matter. A lot of my friends call me KP, so consider your friend, call me KP.
All right, well, I kind of like the friend route. I mean, if that's an option, I'll take that. But okay. I'll probably vary between Kenneth and KP, mainly because Kenneth sounds very cool.
It sounds Kenneth is cool. You know what it means, right?
It means you drink your tea with your pinky out, right?
Kenneth.
No? Okay, well, what does Kenneth mean?
Handsome.
Oh, well, hell yeah. Own that. Okay. Okay, well, listen, this is so weird still being on video. And we talked prior to the recording. We've both been on video before. You actually run a company called K Perry Global, which also sounds good looking, also sounds attractive. And it is, you're a technology consultant, right? But yeah, it's weird to know that some people are going to not be watching this because they'll be just listening to the podcast. So either way, smile all you want, brother, but at the same time, there's only so many people that's going to be seeing it, right? Oh my gosh. Okay. So listen, you have some interesting things that I'm going to hit you with today. So I hope you're ready. But at the same time, for any of our listeners and now watchers, Kenneth has no idea what I'm going to ask him. And that's kind of the whole point. The premise of Shut Up and Laugh is because I personally believe there is power in laughter. There's a healing factor in laughter, such as humor heals. It's a hashtag that me and my business partner kind of created and claim in a court of law. But at the same time, we run a company called Laugh Tech, which stands for Learn About Funny Techniques. And I know you know this already, sort of, Kenneth, but this whole thing came from our workshops and the corporate clients that we work with, but then people kind of wanting to know more. So this has been going on since October, been having a lot of fun with it. And I've been interviewing people that either I know or even the ones I don't know, like you, until a week ago, where suddenly I was like, damn, I got to get to know that dude. I got to get to know that guy. And that's how that came about. So I did a deep dive on you, man. I dove. And honestly, I hit bottom real quick because you do not have a lot of information out there on you, man. So I just kind of kept it surface level, but you are locked down. He's like, yes, because extradition in 5 counties. No, I mean, what's that all about? I mean, I couldn't find out a lot of dirt.
Well, I guess I'm a pretty clean guy.
Okay.
I take showers, you know.
But you like your privacy, don't you?
Yeah, I definitely like my privacy.
All right.
You never know who's out there trying to, get at you and get at your information. So, we have those tools out there that allows you to remain stealth, and from there, unless you want to be available. I try to make sure that I'm safe in the social media world or internet world. Yeah.
Well, I can respect that. It's perfectly. I will hold it against you at all, but it did make my job damn hard. I normally find out where someone's currently living, and I know that you're going to actually be relocating soon. But for the time being, you're in the Mill Creek area.
See.
Oh, what's that?
I said C.
C. Okay. Oh, we're bilingual now. Okay. So Mill Creek area.
Was that Pocantico? See, I'm messing that up already.
I can't even order a Taco Bell. Don't.
No, I can't do that.
I just point and go numero uno, and they're like, okay. That's as good as I can do. So you schooled all over, man. You were in Ohio Community College. You were at Langston University in Oklahoma, for those who don't know. And you got a background in marketing and design, right?
Correct.
All right. So tell me about that. What happened there? You just said, forget it? Like you were one of the smart ones and bailed on it? What?
Yeah, so I played basketball my freshman year at Langston University. And at that time, I wasn't on scholarship. I walked on. And what happened was during the summertime, I got a offer for an internship with a company called Levity Footwear. And it was, it's for designing footwear at that time. So what I did was I took the internship for the summer, and then they offered me a full-time job, and I left.
Wow. Good on you.
Yeah, I left and started designing footwear.
That is good experience. Life experience like that is amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
I went to Cornish College of the Arts, which used to be up on Capitol Hill, which is now owned by civilians. Apparently, they all got taken over, but that's another subject completely. And to date myself, I was the only one with my own computer. I had like the first Apple Power Mac 6100, like 40 megabyte hard drive. It's just stupid. It's just hilarious. But yeah, I didn't get real life experience. I had to go through the college thing, fight for jobs like everyone else. Like all the Art Institute clients or students were taking my jobs after 2-year certificates, and I had to sit there for a 4-year degree, and it was crazy. I had to start my own business to get the real life. So
yeah, I had to. I did end up getting a commercial art technology degree.
Oh, good.
So I was focused on like video, graphic design, video editing, things of that nature.
Cool.
3D graphics.
Well, that leads me into my first question, and it's somewhat self-serving at first, but I'm going to play with you. You listen to a couple or one or two or whatever of my podcasts. I tend to ask people this anyway because I want them to kind of get a flavor for the broadcast and see if it's something they want to participate in. But as a designer and as a marketing guy in general, what did you think, or which ones did you listen to? Any?
I listened to the most recent one.
Okay, so the one with Corey?
Yes, the one with Corey. And I thought it was entertaining. A lot of times when you listen to a podcast, it's you get to a point where it's like, they're not talking about anything, right?
Yeah.
Talk about anything that's interesting to me, and I can't listen anymore. But I actually listened to the full hour.
Cool. Right on, man. You're probably the first person.
I mean, some of the topics you're talking about, that had to do with, financing and things of that nature, very helpful. So.
Oh, good.
Entertaining.
Well, I'll make sure he listens to this one and gets that kudo, because I'm sure that will go far. Corey's a great dude, man. Absolutely cool. All right. Well, thank you. And I appreciate that. Now, I used the segue bit a minute ago because, again, you've got the design background, you've got the video background. You run K. Perry Global. You also have a YouTube page, everybody, K. Perry Global. Go online, type that in, and check out your videos, man. These are tight.
Oh, you like them?
Good. Yeah, they're great videos. I loved them. I love watching the transitions. You got your logo that comes in at the beginning. You have a little bit of fun. You actually use humor. Ding, 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 right? You use humor in your technology training. I've seen it. You're a funny guy. You even do some impressions. I mean, tell me about how that came about and why you do it. And you seem to be using humor as part of your shtick, or are you seeing it as success in training people using humor to reach your audience? Can you talk about that a bit?
Well, my passion is to practice love and empowerment of people while creating a mindset of action and growth, right? So for me, showing someone how to use technology sometimes can be boring, especially for the person that you're training, right? You have to figure out ways in order to keep them engaged in what you're talking about. Show them the magic of software and hardware together that allows them to achieve more. But in order to do so, like I say, you have to keep them engaged. So throwing a little humor in there from time to time helps that out. And from what I've seen from you and your team, you guys are damn good at it.
Thank you for that. I'm blushing. That's cool.
So I have a good sense of humor. I love to laugh. As you can see, I love to smile. For you, those who hear it, or hearing this podcast right now. Hopefully you can hear it in my voice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a little humor here and there doesn't hurt. I would like to do more. And I think it's a big part of who I am and what I would like to do to entertain people moving forward.
Outstanding. Now, you said something that's absolutely key in how we train at Laugh Tech, for example. And I don't want to go too down that or deep down that rabbit hole, but you're like 90% smile and 10% rest of your face. You have this amazing, beautiful smile. And that's actually what got me to key in and get to know you as of last week. I mean, like, we're like besties. No, but we teach people that you sound different when you're smiling. And people don't realize that. Whether you're a phone jockey and you don't get the benefit of a video, a Zoom, a face-to-face, you can't sit knee to knee with someone at a table. Your voice is completely different when you're smiling because it uses other muscles and it extends the larynx. And all these things happen that people don't realize. When you're boring, right? Or you're in a different mood versus happy, smiley KP, right? See, I dropped a KP there for you. That's how we roll. You're a totally different sounding human being, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you smile, people can tell, and I love that because your voice I'm already hearing that difference. So hopefully you podcast listeners out there can register that because it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different experience, especially for the end user, right? The customer. So I can only assume that that's aided in some of your success, right?
Yes, I believe so. Lately, my smile has been a trend. Everyone's commenting on the smile.
Okay. Okay. I think I know where you're going with that. Okay.
I don't know what it is, but it's my smile, and hopefully with the personality, the smile, and how I treat people resonates with them.
That's awesome. And I'm the blunt edge sword of the Laugh Tech business. I tend to be the blunt coach. Like I'll say something like, you did that really good, but I really want to challenge you with this, right? I mean, it's positive, but it's to the point. My business partner, Marcel, her nickname's Hallmark, which is hilarious because she's the best business decision I ever made. She's really cool and great and funny, and she's got a big old smile too. And she uses that to her advantage too, because did you know that your smile disarms people?
Yes.
It does. Okay, yes. Good. And embrace that, man, because it does. And it's a powerful tool. And she uses it the exact same way. I feel I look like an axe murderer. You know what I mean? People are like, where are the bodies?
That face right there looked like an axe murderer, slightly. A very cool axe murderer.
A cool, likable one. Yeah. Yes. Like I plant them 6 feet apart in the back garden because whatever. No, it's just weird because we all have skill sets and tools, and people who, this sounds even weirder, lead with their face, like it's the first thing you see, it's the last thing you can't forget. Those are the ones that are successful in business because you disarm with a smile. You avoid obstacles with a smile. Or someone comes in out on you hot and heavy, you smile at them and they're like, what just happened? It can deter mindsets. So it's actually an incredible tool. And this is working great on video. It's going to suck for the podcast listeners. I'm really sorry, folks. You have to check out the video once this goes live too. Tell me about what some of the fun is right now that you're having in business. Now, I know right now you're also working with your bride, so you can tangent into that as well. Of course, it's your answer. But tell me what type of situations you feel that you're dealing with, that you're handling it the way you do, if that makes sense. So it feels pretty unique.
Well, we're dealing with customers. In the type of business that I do, it's all about listening, right, and understanding what their needs are. Mm-hmm. That's the number one thing. If you understand their needs, then you can recommend the right solution. So what I do most of the time, I'm kind of like your technology therapist in a sense.
Oh, I like that.
I'm kind of like your technology therapist. So I listen to your needs, customize the solution to your lifestyle, and then show you how to do it so you can be more productive. And that's what's important to me, knowing that I can help people on a daily basis reach their full potential and using their technology. And then we're working with my bride's company, being able to help them solve some of the needs that they have in order to continue to stay, just I don't want to say stay afloat, but to continue not to lose a beat. Using my expertise in sales and customer service.
That's fantastic. Now, are you able to say what brand and manufacturer you tend to push as a solution, or are you under weird clauses and NDAs and whatnot?
Actually, I'm passionate about Microsoft products and services, right? But that's just a passion. They're not paying me to tell them what technology to promote or whatever. So I'm a free agent. I use Microsoft Surface is my computer. I love Windows 10 operating system. I'm a fan of Microsoft 365, but yet I have an iPhone and an iPad as well, right? And I use the Apple Watch too. I don't have it on, but
so you can embrace both techs.
Both techs, right? Because you get anywhere access across devices, no matter what hardware you're using, right? Or operating system. You have the software that connects everything. So I'm a huge fan of that. I like drones and cameras and all types of stuff. So just based on what the customer's needs are, whether it's Android, iOS, Chrome, Microsoft Edge, whatever, I recommend that solution for them.
I should send my father your way. He's using AOL. He's using AOL. He's very happy with it.
I know somebody in my family is using AOL.
He dials up on his Netscape Navigator. It's like, I was on the Computer City sales floor in 1994 in Linwood. And I had my yellow shirt on, my polo, my black pants. I looked like a bumblebee in heat because they were spiffs and kickbacks back then from manufacturers. And I was we were prepping for Windows 95. And prior to that, it was the DOS world, man.
Yeah.
Or, Windows 3.11 or whatever the heck that was equivalent of, other than garbage. So I literally just dated myself. I have seen every transition in technology and been part of it in some way, shape, or form. I worked for Microsoft as well back in the day and everything. So crazy. But I'm personally a Mac guy. Like for my kids' schools, I have a PC upstairs, but Windows 10 just, oh God, it just irritates me. I have issues. Like I need to sit on your therapy couch and be like manheld and say like, what am I going to do? Like rock me back and forth and tell me how to reset my devices. It's very traumatic. So I can't imagine what you go through. Okay, so I wanted to go into the story, for lack of better words, about how we met. Because again, for anyone listening right now and for anyone watching, I know we sound like besties right now, but I literally have known you for like 6 days now. And we've only had, this is our second conversation realistically, aside from a couple texts back and forth. So your wife made a post on Facebook, or as my father on his AOL connection, he says the Facebook, and she shared out your post from your personal page, which was incredibly profound. Not only because she obviously loves and adores you, she's obligated by way of being your partner, obviously, but she did it because, and simultaneously, and again, some people don't realize this, she exposed you to her network, not just who she knows, but also who they know. And by way of that, it does have that viral aspect, right? And I saw the post, and back to you, brother, I saw that smile and I was like, damn. And again, I know this sounds like a bad Tinder profile or something, but I mean, I saw that and I was like, I got to get to know him, period. I didn't care. Honestly, I didn't even care what the post was about at first. I saw it and I was like, I have got to get to know this cat, period, straight up. And I sound weird saying that, but I do talk like that. I was like, forget it. And I left a note on your wife's post, and it just said, oh crap, what did it say? It said something to the extent of, his smile is amazing. That's all I wrote. And then she pinged me back, and I ended up asking her permission to connect with you to then get to where we are today, because I want to get to know you, and that's what we're doing here.
Right.
So can you tell me what has happened? I mean, like, tell me about the post.
Okay.
And tell me what has happened since then. And I don't mean our budding relationship. I'm talking about in general.
So the post in general was just me, one night, watching TV and just thinking about like all the things that happened to me as a African American throughout my life, and I say roughly about a month ago, I started writing down my feelings, and I started writing down my feelings, and this I think was like the second or third time I did that, and wrote down, how I felt and all the things that happened to me, and what I would like to take place and where I would like to go with it, and I came up with that message, about being spit on, being called the N word 100 times, about my background, my family, my great grandfathers being born slaves, and just all types of stuff. But ultimately, wanting to, no matter what and how I was being treated, wanting to still build bridges and practice love and empowerment of people, and not holding it against people, but trying to find a solution, to the issue of racism.
Yeah.
And so I think that resonated with a lot of people because even though I've been treated a certain way, I'm still optimistic about us unifying and building bridges so that we can create a better world.
Yeah. And you really do, don't you? I mean, there just does not seem to be a disingenuine bone in your body. The way you expressed that was incredibly eloquent in your post.
Yes.
And no, I don't have it up on the screen. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to put you in a position to ask you specific targets or anything, because that'd be dumb. But I want people to find you online.
Okay.
I want them to, go onto Facebook, if nothing else, type in Kenneth Perry, and your big ass smile appears in a little profile picture, and go there and see this post, because it was beautiful. And it's one of those things where I look at it, I read it, and I'm incredibly moved. And then, kind of like what you and I talked about the other week, then life got in the way, right?
Right.
I had to go be a dad, or I had to go work, and I had to do a couple things, and kind of in a bubble. And I think that is one of those things that needs to come to the surface, right? That people need to realize that maybe there's too many bubbles out there, and maybe inaction isn't necessarily out of people not wanting to, but life happens and other things happen. Plus, I'm sure there's a ton of a plethora of other excuses people can make. So
Right.
Give me some examples, if you can, of what you'd like to see happen. And that's not asked with any expectation or even ignorance, but as a white guy, I don't always know, right?
Right.
So how would you answer that?
I think the first thing is just understanding, understanding, wanting to understand, let's just say that, wanting to understand how can you contribute to, making things better, realizing that, hey, yes, slavery did happen. And because of slavery, this is where we are today.
Yeah.
I think acknowledging that would help as well. So many times, like, I'm just going to give you some context with context of what I'm talking about.
Of course.
So I live in a white world with a lot of my friends, especially here in Seattle, are Caucasian, right? And I have some that ask me questions, some that kind of teeter around, certain questions and may try to avoid them. But every time I answer their questions, a question like, well, why do they have black colleges?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like, why do they have black colleges? And so then I say, well, because we weren't allowed to go to the white colleges, right? And some people think it's unfair that we have black colleges because they don't know, right? Or say like if I say Black Lives Matter, and then someone comes with All Lives Matter. Like in a situation like that, we're saying Black Lives Matter because we feel like we don't matter. In my post, I said that I feel like my life doesn't matter to some white people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you my experiences and I'm telling you how I feel. And then you come back at me with All Lives Matter. Like, forget what you're talking about. Your life, all lives should matter. Well, if you have to think about that, then there's a problem. We all know that all lives matter.
It feels like a dismissal, doesn't it? I think
it's a dismissal. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, I didn't understand that until a few weeks ago when I had another friend of mine explain that. And again, in my mind, and we'll get into that after a quick break. We'll have in a minute to have some sponsors get a chance to be heard. It's not because I'm a hater. It's not because I'm a racist. It's just because I didn't ask those questions, right? It seems to me like, oh, it's fun and inclusive if I say all lives matter. It's like I felt like I was doing one up, like something better by saying it's not just Black lives, it's all lives. Well, no, because it's just not, right? And I know that's like the lamest description of what I went through, but I kind of had one of those goofy aha moments, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. I have really bad timing, but we're going to take a quick tangent break. I'm going to introduce you super quick to two of our sponsors that are part of the podcast and now via video. Horrible timing, cool. but we're going to get back into this here. I'm not going to do video or crazy things or anything, but I just want to say that another review or another podcast I want you to check out at some point.
Okay.
PP is Michael Piccolo.
Michael Piccolo.
Also, he drinks his tea with his pinky out. He used to be with a different real estate brokerage, and he just made a move to Compass. Okay. Now, this guy, I knew him when he owned a security company, so like alarm systems and everything else. He came into a networking group, and he's this little dude, and he's super energetic, and his smile and personality also lit up the room. And then he switched it up, and he does Seattle East Side real estate sales, and he's only been in the business for 3 years now. And now he's moved to Compass. It's a technology-driven real estate company. They fuse the best of what a brokerage has and a startup, and it's allowing him to elevate his business to a whole new level to provide his clients with the best technology and best service possible to buy or sell homes. So I know you're relocating soon. It's actually crushing my soul here that at some point I'll have to say goodbye to you. But anybody out there, okay, anybody out there in the Pacific Northwest that wants to explore real estate options or wants to simply learn more about the ever-changing industry that we're currently in, contact Michael today to set up an appointment. So it's Compass, Michael Piccolo. His phone number is 425-830-7467 or michael.piccolo@compass.com. Check him out. You will be thankful. And I'm going to talk really quickly about one more gal. Get this name, man. Gentle Frog Custom QuickBooks Training. Rachel Barnett. I know you. No, Rachel's a techie too, man. She's in the techie world. She's rocking it. And she is one of the highest rated QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Online training gals out there. She's got some of the best ratings out there. All of her trainings take place virtually using Zoom and or directly at client locations post-COVID, hopefully. And she also volunteers to teach online introduction to QuickBooks at the Seattle SCORE office. That's SCORE. So if you know anybody that thinks they know what they're doing with QuickBooks, she will kindly instruct them otherwise and give them the best practices and techniques to make their QuickBooks record shine. Otherwise, there are audits in those folks' future. So they need to reach out to Rachel at the @ Gentle Frog LLC if you're on Facebook, social media, as it were, or call her at 206-850-1105. All right. So again, thank you all of our sponsors that are part of this broadcast. Look at the thumbs up from KP. If anyone is interested in becoming a sponsor, just go to anchor.fm/shut up and laugh. Click the sponsor button and you can learn more, okay? All right, my man, back to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, ally.
Okay.
4-letter word. It's not a dirty 4-letter word. I don't think it is. Hopefully you don't think it is. It's kind of a key word right now that's floating around out there. I want to talk about ally. I would honestly consider myself an ally. And let me tell you briefly why, because I think I'm more of a sideline ally. And I almost feel bad saying that, but I want to explain why, and then I want to hear your thoughts. Because as a guy, my entire life, I have always felt it very difficult to make guy friends, like solid, legit guy friends, right? Because I don't talk about sexual conquests. I don't talk about sports. I don't talk about cars, right? I know where my dipstick is, barely in my car, for the record, not talking about something else. I'm just not one of those guys. So anytime in my life I have met somebody who's a guy who wants to become a friend with me, I latch onto him, right?
Okay.
Not in a creepy way, but I think it allowed me from day one to not give a crap what color they are, where they're from, whatever. I have in my mind, at least, a broad set of friends, which sounds weird now that I'm saying it. Like, you know how you kind of catalog who you know and so on and so forth. I got a bunch of colors. Yay. I'm not looking for a reward. I'm not looking for a pat on the back, but I'll friend anybody that wants to be respectful, wants to be cool, wants to have open dialogue, wants to talk about the weather, wants to talk about something going on in their world. I love rising people up by compliments and support. I've always been kind of the big, like the Papa Bear to my friends. They always come to me for advice and whatever. And cool, that's how I am. Does that make me an ally, or does that make me just some dumb idiot?
No.
What do you think, man?
No. I'm cool for a black guy, just to let you know.
Right on. I love that.
I've heard that several times, but
yeah.
Anyway.
I'm turning into a red guy right now. I'm laughing so much. I'm getting red. This is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Weird.
I really don't like black people, but you're cool for a black guy. Anyway. But to answer your question, that was just a little levity right there. But to answer your question, I mean, that makes you an ally.
All right.
Like you said, an ally from the standpoint of you're not discriminating against, against other people. You know, you want other people in your circles, right? In your circle.
Yeah.
What we need, and that's one aspect of it, right? What we need is for you to take the next step.
Okay.
The next step is like your friends or your white friends or the other men, having conversation with them about some of the tough conversations that we're having, and and kind of calling people out about on their thought process on how they view certain things. But just having those conversations with them, I think, helps out. And then continue to what I want to say. Continue to reach out to those African Americans to better understand what their plight is.
Yeah.
Not just African Americans. I know the whole topic is on African American, but just in general, just to be open and see how we can help. I know for so long we can't. What I want to say, we can't do it without you.
Yeah.
We can't make any changes without you, because you are a very important piece to creating change in this country. But thanks for being an ally.
Well, yeah, and thank you. And again, this is almost a weird conversation, isn't it? Because we're talking about a hypothetical, realistically.
Right.
But it needs to become something tangible. So I like the fact that you said next step, because, and I think that's why I feel sidelined, or like I'm on the sideline a bit, which again, maybe is supportive and a good place to be, but yeah, there is something that I can do next. And it does sort of light my fire to think, who do I know that may be saying things, stating things, or standing for things that are a little messed up, maybe a little tired, maybe a little tried, and that should become an open dialogue. and hopefully can be corrected. But you also said something the other day when you and I first met.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get it right, but you basically said that these dialogues and these conversations aren't something, or maybe you said shouldn't be something that you start as a Black man. It needs to be something that I start.
Right.
So how do I gain the confidence to be able to start that conversation? And where would I start?
I mean, start with the people that's closest to you.
Okay. Okay.
Start with the people because they love you. They should love you unconditionally, And if you can't, have those conversations with the people that's closest to you, then who can you have that conversation with?
Okay.
And, uh, I mean, for me, I've had some tough conversations since that post. Yeah. And I've been doing this for quite some time, but since that post, I had 30,000 views on LinkedIn. I've had, thousands of people reach out to me, and I haven't been able to, get back or whatever. Yeah. But they're wanting to know how can they help and how can they have those, how can they have those uncomfortable conversations. Yeah. And it just starts with the people that's close to you, the people you are friends with, and hey, how do you feel about this? Mm-hmm. Like if I ask you a question right now, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Hit me. Yeah.
When you think of Black people, what's the first thing come to your mind?
Music.
You're the second person that said that.
Yeah. I absolutely love the wide array of music that comes from the culture. Uh-huh. It blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. And there's also one or two that I'm like, what the hell did I just listen to? That is crap.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with you now, bro.
Yeah, but no, music. I don't have too many deep connections to people in the industry, but I have a fair amount in the comedy world, hence from the soundboards to the studios. And there's so much out there, and there's so much more I need to absorb. And yeah, first often it's music.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, cool. So, but ask that question. And when you think, bless you, when you think of Black people, what do you, bless you. Yeah, when you think of Black people, what's your first thought? Another question could be, could you imagine being the descendant of a slave? Mm. Or how that would feel? Yeah. And just, start that dialogue because, it's difficult to imagine that, right? If you're not, mm-hmm. But it's okay. Well, what would those people go through? Mm-hmm. And how would they overcome some of the things that they've overcome and to try to assimilate and be a part of the American dream, Mm-hmm. So that's a good question to ask. And it's tons of things that you can, conversations you can have about that. Cause we find ways to talk about politics. Yeah. We find ways to talk about, what happened on Netflix, or what happened in the basketball game. And even though this topic right here is it's a tough topic, I think as Americans and as individuals, I believe that we can come together to have that conversation.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What I like about what you said is you threw a question back at me, and it sounds like I had a decent answer, for example, like, did I pass the test? But I like the fact that you probably heard a whole crap ton of answers. So to mine, what other answers have you gotten? Like, which ones made you say, oh, hell no, you didn't just say that, versus ones that were just like, oh, okay, cool.
Well, what I find from the people that I talk to, mm-hmm. because I haven't really had that opportunity to ask that question. That was something that I just came up with roughly about a week ago or so, mm-hmm. because people start asking me like, what can they do and all that. And I want to know how do you feel about, when I throw this word at you, what do you think? Yeah. So I got music, I got basketball, I got sports. Mm-hmm. I didn't get anything that was that I felt like, well, man, or like I didn't get criminal or any of that kind of stuff. I didn't get that, but that, like I said, I only asked a handful of people.
Sure, sure.
So that's what they gave me. But when I go out in the world and what I experienced being treated like a criminal.
Hmm.
You know, I experienced, you know, not feeling like I'm important, like I'm not on the same playing field. I feel like times that instead of me feeling protected, you know, I feel policed, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And so I've never, in all the years I've lived, I've never felt protected. I've always felt policed, you know, and that's just part of, you know, growing up. My parents had to prepare me for
Yeah.
being police
Yeah.
versus being protected. But anyway, so I'm not sure if I answered your question, but
No, you did. And again, this is why this type of conversation needs to be hours, because there's so much I could learn from you. And there's so much I think that our back and forth could become something that's exemplary, right? And I'm not putting myself on any platform, nor frankly am I putting you, but you're right. The discussions just need to happen. The talks need to happen. I want to encourage you to go back on what you said. And I don't have to be the one to start this conversation. I want you to do what you've done on your YouTube page.
okay.
And I really want to challenge you and post it on Facebook and see what happens. Just do a video where you ask 5 questions and do it any way that Kenneth Perry does, with some transitions or slide or music in the background or whatever. But start a series, man. Start a series of these questions that then can start the dialogue and start the conversation. And I would be shocked if it wasn't embraced by, I'll say, the majority of the community. And that doesn't matter if you're here in the Pacific Northwest or your future destination when you,
Right.
in my opinion, unfortunately leave our beautiful area. But you got good reasons behind that, and I'm going to get into that in just a minute. But you have something that I don't think a lot of people do. I've spent my career in leadership roles, but at the same time in positions where I've always kind of been in the background, even though I'm kind of an attention whore and love to be up front all the time, so on and so forth, leading by example, whatever, motivating. You got something, man. It's not just your damn good looking smile. It's your style. It's your style. It's the way you carry yourself, and it's the way that you genuinely come across as a good dude. And that also has that dirty little word called leadership quality. It's there. So I want to challenge you to create even just one video and see what happens. And it could be prefaced with, based off the recent feedback, thousands of connections, the thousands of views, the countless hundreds of thousands, whatever. It's created me to do this. And I really want you to consider that, because if there were, call it 5 questions, call it 10 questions that could create a dialogue, I could see you on a conference stage in front of thousands of people who want to benefit from that dialogue, from that conversation.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean that with all my heart, man. It's just incredible, because again, I have friends of every color, but for some reason it's comfortable amidst its uncomfortableness having this conversation with you, and that's a gift. That's a gift you can give. So I want you to consider that, okay?
Okay. My my wife brought that up to me just recently.
Oh, she stole my thunder?
You stole your thunder a little bit. She said, hey, I think this, you know, I think people want to hear more of you than your technology.
Yeah. Well, you could do a marriage between the two, but
right.
there's something here, man. I want to challenge you to embrace. Give Laugh Tech full credit if you want to. It's totally cool.
Oh yeah,
But,
it's all you.
Yeah.
It's all you, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna bring it up a bit now. We got about just, I don't know, 10-ish minutes left here.
Yeah.
Share with me today some strong examples that you think the power of your laughter and your personality has pulled you or others out of a situation. Something that's changed you and or them by way of how you addressed it.
I think that when situations get tough, right? Situations get tough. I always believe in trying to like solve the problem and not dwell on what the issue is.
Yeah.
And at times, it takes, saying telling a joke or, doing something funny to make someone laugh and to get them to pick them up a little bit so they can get focused or get level set and we can accomplish the goal. I mean, I think it's a lot of examples I have with my beautiful wife at times when, we're going through something that's, that's life changing and it's life is stressing you out or whatever. And, I have this thing with saying, oh, I say a lot of stuff, but I might do a little dance, a little dance like,
there you go.
Make a little face or something like that. And then it's kind of like, it evens things out,
Yeah.
And now we can move forward and continue to complete the goal. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So basically being a big old goofball.
I'm a goofball.
Works, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can do dances and you make funny.
I'm so uncoordinated. That's why I call everything sport. I mean, I can't even do that without looking like I'm having a polite seizure. It's just not going to work. All right. So let's jump to a slightly new line of topic here.
Okay.
Again, I was stoked when we connected last week. I've been thinking about this interview ever since then, and now it's happening, and I'm like, oh, it's amazing. And honestly, I really, really appreciate how forthright you've been and willing to talk, even surface level, with some of the stuff that, trust me, we can go wicked deep some other time with this conversation. Right. But I want you to share with me why you're moving, because it honestly touched me as far as the reasons why you're moving and where to. You're welcome to share if you want. And I wanted to bring this to light because of this current environment we're in right now. The previous, now technically phase 2, no longer stay at home, but just mask up everybody. It's a crazy situation we're in, man. Hopefully this is a once in a lifetime damn experience, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Trust me, any viewers or listeners, the reasons why you're moving have nothing to do with the post by way of how we originally got connected. Had nothing to do with Black Lives Matter.
No.
It had to do with something completely different. So share with me what's going on.
Well, my wife and I are in the state of Washington on an island. She's been here 20 years. I've been here 5. We don't have family here at all. And it's been tough. And most of her adult life, she's been out here. And it's one of those, she's the only child, and it was one of those situations where COVID took place. Now, before that, pre-COVID, once a month, we were going to see some family. Right?
Yeah.
COVID took place on the plane, right? COVID took place, that's gone. So
boom.
We had to cancel flights. We had to cancel plans. We couldn't, this is the longest time we've been without seeing family. I've had several, family members that have had COVID, and friends, I've lost friends. And, you feel helpless being out here on this island, right? So one of the main reasons why we moved is to be closer to family during this time, and they're, especially in our parents' golden age, we don't know how long they're going to be here. And we would like to, continue to love and cherish and touch them during this turbulent time.
Yeah. I love that, man. I just love that. Yeah. Isn't it just crazy? Like you said, every month going somewhere, visiting, hugging, right? I want hugs. Hugs got to come back. I don't care about handshakes, man, but I'm a hugger. That's just wrong. All this stuff has changed up. So I love the fact that you're going back home. Now, what was it, Detroit?
Yes, Detroit. Yeah,
so you're going back there, and does that get you close to your mom? Because she is the cutest damn girl I have seen on Facebook. You guys are hugging and stuff, and she looks so proud.
Yes, that's my mom. She's in Detroit.
Awesome.
And then my wife's parents are in New York. So
okay, all right.
We're gonna go back and forth between New York and Detroit for a while.
Yeah, worst case, it's a sleepy drive.
Worst case scenario, right?
Yeah. Unbelievable. Okay, so I absolutely love that. And I think you said that happens at some point next month. I wish you all the best in regard to that. I know you're going to, well, drive out there. Hopefully you're not going to land safely, right? You're going to commute.
Yeah, we're driving, packing up everything, and
all right,
moving out east.
Well, Pacific Northwest's loss, what the Midwest gain, by far. So we got just a couple minutes left here. I want you to answer one, well, technically two more quick questions, and then we'll do the James Lipton nod at the very end, which I guess you heard on Corey's. Hopefully you can one up him. Here's a chance for you to add some points to your register. Tell me about your family, man. How big, spread out? Both parents still with us? Talented wife? Come on, hit me. Earn some points.
I think I have about 10, just all together, with marriages and all that kind of stuff. Roughly about 10 siblings, 8 or 9 siblings or so, something like that.
You have a basketball team, basically.
Yeah. I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm somewhere in the middle. They're all funny, different personalities. They're all living, thank God, because in our community, sometimes that doesn't take place, right? No one's in jail. My parents are bar owners in Detroit. They own like the oldest blues bar in Detroit called the Ravens Lounge and Restaurant. We call them kicker boxes. They're in their 60s and 70s, and they still. Well, they can't kick it right now because of what? COVID-19.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
jazz bar.
A blues bar.
Blues bar. So my invitation.
The prayer is gone.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to be there. Road trip.
Yep.
Done. I'm going to be there at some point. Just fair warning. Go ahead. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah. So the bar's been in Eminem video. Also 2 documentaries and a Low Winter Sun series on Netflix.
Amazing. So, that's fantastic.
There's a hole in the wall, but it's a special place.
Yeah. And your beautiful bride?
Yes.
Share there.
She is like I said, she's from Westchester, New York. Beautiful parents. My in-laws treat me like their son. Ed and Kathleen. They are awesome people, believers, and some of the sweetest people that you ever met. Her family, my family, they mix just like that. They spent last Thanksgiving with my family. We have a beautiful situation that's going on right now, right? I have 2 kids, 21 and 17, and they're doing just fine. And I'm just grateful to have a healthy family right now, during this, like I said, during COVID-19. So
yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, man. I love it. Again, I'm going to make it up there someday. Okay, you have my word, and I don't go back on my word.
Shoot, that's sweet.
I want a table for as many people as we can fit and listen to some blues. And drink. That's amazing. Okay, before we do the James Lipton nod, give me one thing that you want to leave us today about Kenneth Perry, or KP to his friends.
Well, my value system is to plant good seeds of love, fidelity, time, respect, and communication. I think that's important in anything that I do, whether it's, friendship, partnership, work, whatever the case may be. That's the core of what I'm trying to do here in every person that I meet and relationship that I have. And so I just want to spread love and hope that you would do the same.
Yes, absolutely. And that was beautiful. Heck, we should just end on that note, man. We can't even beat that. But every single episode gets this. So, James Lipton nod. If you could be known for one, I'm sorry, I went in the wrong order. What is one of your biggest pet peeves?
Chip fingernail polish on women. I don't know. For some reason, it's just like,
that's possibly the best answer that we've ever gotten. Okay, and next up, what is the favorite place you've traveled to or would like to travel to?
Japan.
Japan, very good. And last but not least, if you could be known for one thing only, what would that be?
Providing love.
Providing love. Fantastic. All right, my man. Listen, before I do my little broadcast shout out that I do at the end of each show, I want to once again thank you so much for marrying that amazing bride, because she said yes to getting us in touch. I think it's been great. I appreciate your honesty and your heartfelt responses, and I wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavors as you travel across the country, well, smack dab in the middle to Detroit. And I wish nothing but health and happiness to you and your family. And I do hope we can keep in touch, and I mean that. Yeah, because you got something good going on, and I want you to continue that and thrive. All right?
Yes, sir. Well, we could do this again whenever you want.
There we go. There we go. Okay, so my shout out that I give everybody is, and again, so this is for you, and this is for everyone out there listening and now watching this podcast. When you're out there in between these listens or watches with everyone around you that you know and love, be a witness, be real, and be present to those you care about and love. And I ask this of you, Kenneth, and everyone else. I'm challenging you all to try it, because sometimes we just have got to be together, take a moment, and shut up and laugh. There we go. Yeah. All right. Again, you're the best. Thank you so much, and take care.
You too.